Welcome back. The big story that's coming in from the United States. The upset to beat all upsets. Donald Trump now leading Hillary Clinton by 139 electoral votes to 104. Just 131 now short of. He's already crossed the halfway mark. And importantly, is now leading in key battleground states. New Hampshire is also now looking like it could go red to the Republicans. Already in Florida, Trump slightly ahead. Importantly, he's taken a big lead in the battleground state of Ohio. If Trump wins Ohio, Florida can pull Wisconsin as well as New Hampshire. Marginal lead in another key state of Virginia. Donald Trump could become the next president of the United States. It's a remarkable story that's playing out at the moment. Smita Sharma is in the United States for us in New York at the moment. Also with us at the moment is Maha Siddiqui. Let's go first to Maha. You are at the US Embassy here. This could be the night in the United States to beat all election nights. Donald Trump, now 55% chance to become the next president of the US according to New York Times. Are people there caught by surprise?
Well, these are very anxious moments. I don't know if they're being caught by surprise, but, everybody is just glued to the plasma screens here behind us where they are watching minute by minute as the results are trickling in. Rajdeep, I have with me the Minister Counselor in the U.S. Embassy, Mr. George Shipley. Sir, first of all, how does it feel to be away from the country today of all days when it's just so close in the elections?
Well, of course, I am experienced as a diplomat, Maha. I've been abroad many times during elections. In fact, in this case, I've been here several years, and I'm recalling 2014 and the excitement at that time watching India's election and seeing how the Indian results came in. And now we're having the chance to share it again here, only watching the U.S. election. So it's an exciting day, very interesting day, and it's wonderful to be able to share it with our Indian friends.
Does it come as a surprise that Donald Trump is at the moment leading?
Well, I wouldn't call it a surprise. You have the polls and everyone is projecting and so forth, and the campaign goes on such a long time. But at the end of the day, what really matters is what the people of America vote, what their votes are, and that's what counts. Not the pundits, not the polls, not the preparations, but the reality.
What are the states we should be focusing on at the moment? We understand Florida is always one of the most important states, and all eyes are usually glued to Florida. What, according to you, we should be watching out in the next 1 hour for?
Well, because the U.S. system uses an electoral college, you look at the states as sort of the individual entities. And Florida is very evenly divided. If you recall, there was a very serious challenge in the election between Al Gore and George W. Bush. And so because it's fairly populous, so there are quite a few electoral college votes, and it's very evenly divided. So as a result, it gets watched very closely.
My final question to you is about specifically Donald Trump, because he's leading at the moment. There are concerns in India because during his campaign, he spoke about immigration, he spoke about taking jobs back from India to the US, indicating that there could be a clampdown on H-1B visas. Would you want to say anything about that at the moment, or is it too early?
Well, I think it's too soon to talk about a winner or a loser. I would say one thing, though, about both candidates and both major parties, and that is that the importance of India and the value of the relationship between the United States and India is an area of common acceptance. There's a consensus there. There's very few areas in which the two parties have such a strong consensus. So I think in terms of the strength of our bilateral relationship, regardless of the outcome today, it will remain very strong.
Mr. Sibley, many thanks for speaking with India today. So there you have it, Rajdeep. According to the US officials here, they believe that the India-US relationship will only grow. It doesn't matter who becomes the president, because we are already on a trajectory, and which is in a way irreversible is what they say.
Okay, well, let's tell you why we believe Donald Trump is pulling out possibly the biggest upset in the history of US elections. Remember, all pollsters and many of us who went to the United States believed that Clinton was clearly ahead. But now every poll except that one of LA Times could be proved wrong, because what we are going to show you is perhaps the upset to beat all upsets. Let's go to our magic wall and tell you what's happening in the United States. Remember, 270 is the magic mark. And I'm going to tell you now what's happening across the map of the United States. Take a look. These are all the states that are turning red to the Republicans at the moment. The Democrats only winning in their strongholds up there in the northeast part of the country. But across the Midwest and importantly in the South, states like Georgia, states including, and these are now going to be the battleground states that I'm going to call. These are the live results, but the battleground states are critical. Florida down there is heading towards Trump. Importantly, Michigan up here is also heading towards Donald Trump. Importantly, again, Ohio heading towards Donald Trump. Donald Trump is doing what Ronald Reagan did 35 years ago. Make America great again. He's pulling in the votes. I'm going to ask my producers to just give you a sense of the entire map of the United States, to look at the battleground states. Remember, in America, about 12 battleground states decide the election. And those 12 battleground states at the moment are going towards Donald Trump. It's the Floridas, the Michigans, the Ohios, where this election is being decided at the moment. And clearly at the moment, the Democrats are confined to their pockets, but large parts of America are still voting. And the real election is here in Florida. 48% to Hillary Clinton, 49% at the moment to Donald Trump, with 5% left to call. If Donald Trump wins Florida, he is well on course to becoming the next president of the United States. Meanwhile, at the moment, it's 49% to 45% in the other key state of Michigan. Clearly at the moment, some states too early to call, but this is going to the wire. It is not a triumph for Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump could well be pulling off the miracle to beat all miracles. That's the big story coming from the US. And Rajiv, you're joining me in the studio. Already I'm told Dow down 500 points. Stock market's about to open in half an hour. This could be a dramatic morning in terms of the markets. Donald Trump winning there. Yeah. Narendra Modi counting the notes.
Yeah, I think the stock markets are going to be reacting, or rather overreacting, as they always do. And I think we're going to have a really panicky stock market again in the morning when 9:15 when it opens for trading. So I think, but I think over a period of 48 hours to 72 hours, this should settle down. The impact of the US election will definitely will be seen across the world in stock markets. But as far as India is concerned, it should get back to normal in about by 72 hours.
But it is a remarkable result that's coming in, and pollsters will have egg on their face. Remember, I had suggested yesterday it was clearly advantage Hillary. I might have egg on my face as well. But Smita Sharma, you're at Times Square. We were with you about an hour ago. Since then, it's all dramatically changed, because in every battleground state at the moment, Donald Trump is ahead.
Well, Rajdeep, I'm dressed in a red sweater today, but I really didn't know that the electoral map would also be turning red this evening. So it's a simple coincidence. It's a disclaimer right out there. But on Times Square, clearly, the chatter, depending on which side of the camp you are, and because New York is traditionally a Democrat-leaning state, a lot of the people here, they have been sounding very depressing, saying things like, we cannot fathom the notion that US could have elected Trump. Two people that I came across who've actually waged a bet on Donald Trump. So they win some money if Donald Trump wins. But you should have seen their expressions. They almost look like they are heartbroken that they are going to win all that money. Prerna has just joined me, Rajdeep. She was at that, Jacob Javits Convention Center where Hillary Clinton will be addressing the audience later this evening. It's the election night. Prerna, did you, there was a lot of enthusiasm initially, but did you see some of that sort of dissipating with the trends and results coming in?
Dissipating, and how the evening started with a lot of euphoria, a lot of people cheering on, but as the results started trickling in, although not there haven't been final results out as yet, but people have started leaving. A lot of people left. In fact, while I was there just about 15 minutes ago, half the people in the area that I was enclosed in left the auditorium and were not going to come.
This is after they actually had waited for 5 to 6 hours to get into the center.
Absolutely. In fact, there was also a lot of talk about markets plunging. People were on their phones checking, information, new information that was coming in, and with the talk of markets plunging, everybody's faces fell exactly the same way as the information was coming in, and a lot of people really left. And the mood is not really as euphoric as it started out in the evening.
And Rajdeep, clearly just within a radius of a few kilometers, actually the center is located. Plus, we have the posh hotel where Donald Trump had already announced that he would be attending a victory party with close friends and supporters. So a lot of streets here have been cordoned off, high security in place, but it's a long night, which leaves a lot of introspection to be done by Americans, by their top political parties as well. And we'll have to see which way finally the results come in, because there's that complication of the popular votes along with the electoral votes.
Colorado, Florida, Michigan, North Carolina, New Hampshire, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia. All these states at the moment, according to American networks, still too early to call. But as of now, except for Pennsylvania and Virginia, in all the other states, it's Donald Trump who's ahead of Hillary Clinton. And if he can maintain this momentum, he will do what, as I said, Ronald Reagan did, and even bigger than what Ronald Reagan achieved, because no poll, except one poll of LA Times, was giving the edge to Donald Trump. Either people lie before pollsters, and we found that in this country, or that Indian pollsters are better than US pollsters. US pollsters are doing what England did during Brexit. Donald Trump could be pulling off a Brexit. Remarkable result possibly coming in there from America, but we still don't know. The fat lady still isn't singing. We'll have to wait for another hour or so to decide whether it's the Republicans and Donald Trump in particular who have reason to celebrate. What does it say about America? That's a question for another day. But for now, it's clearly advantage to Donald Trump at the moment. And the markets, of course, are reacting as a result as well.